I am just so impressed, blown away by what Alex Volkanovski did, and it was beautiful to see him at that Raider game on Sunday afternoon, getting an ovation, getting love, being treated like the champion and the legend that he is. And so without further ado, let us go to the Zoom machine and say hello to the reigning, defending UFC featherweight champion. Let me stand up for him right now. Let me stand up for Alex, this guy right here. What a performance, my friend. What a performance, Alex. I'm in awe of you. I mean, it happened 48 hours ago, a little less. I can't believe what you did. One of my favorite fights, maybe the greatest round that I've ever seen in a title fight, round 3. Congratulations, my friend. That was truly something that I don't think many people on earth could pull off. You did it. Well done.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, it was a crazy ride, this whole thing. But, mate, that was a fun fight. Fun. And as you said, man, yeah, finally getting that recognition that I feel like I deserve, which is pretty cool. But, yeah, just thankful to be in the position I am right now.
Do you agree with me? Do you feel like something has changed since Saturday, that people are viewing you differently?
Oh, yeah, I guess so, yeah. But I mean, it's only been a couple of days, but yeah, it definitely feels different. I'm still on a high from the whole thing, man. It was a good experience, and yeah, stoked.
You know what pissed me off, Alex? It was the hate that you got after the second Holloway fight. Because like I said, you didn't score that fight for yourself. You just went out there and fought. And then for some reason, you're getting hate as opposed to the judges who are getting hate, or the people who put the judges in that position. Like, you just went out and did your job. And now I feel like that's all a distant memory. Like, people are like, holy smokes, 20 in a row for this guy, undefeated in the UFC, undefeated as a featherweight. Like, we need to start respecting this man more. And I know you wanted the finish, Alex, but let's be honest. And I know you don't want to get beat up and cut and stuff. Fights like that take you to a different level, right? As far as popularity, like, that's almost better than a 10-second knockout, is it not?
Yeah, well, it's funny, man. This sport we're in, yeah, entertainment business. Like, you can go out there and absolutely shut someone out. The whole, just look too good for them, and people will be like, oh, whatever. Then you go have a bit of a battle, cop a few extra punches, and people think you're a world beater for it. So it's definitely a weird one. But I mean, I'm just glad we put on a fight in front of the crowd. You know what I mean? Like a fun fight. Entertainment. The whole thing was cool. You know what I mean? We've been in lockdown back home, and there's nothing happening back home. So the whole week with crowds and whatnot was just incredible. And then to finish the whole experience with a fight like that. Was great. So yeah, again, still a high. We were just watching the fight. I got up to the third round, but
oh my god,
we're chatting to you.
Wait, you got?
I haven't watched it. Yeah, that's the first time.
This is the first. You're watching it right now in the background.
Well, I'm not with the boys. Like, we were just watching it before I chucked on.
Oh, geez.
The mic with you.
What bad timing. I'm sorry for taking you away from it.
No, that's all good. That's all good. I was just trying to kill some time.
Wait, so is this the first time you sit down and watch it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I still haven't seen the last 2 rounds, but mate, let me tell you that third round. Obviously, everyone's going nuts about that third round. It was a pretty incredible. Let me tell you, they were deep. Especially that guillotine. It was deep. And you're right. Not many people could probably pull that off and get out of that, especially with someone like Ortega applying them submissions. So that was just shows you the type of human being that I am. And we talk about hard work and never die attitude. And, that whole thing. I've always talked about it, but that was just a good example of that. But I mean, mate, let me tell you, he got helped up. Yeah, we just seen that then. Like you literally stayed on the ground, like he was done. The corner picked him up. He was on the floor for 10 seconds, and they picked him up, which you're actually not allowed to do. So it should have been a TKO. But in saying that, at least we end up having a couple extra crazy rounds anyway. So it was all right. But I mean, yeah, even when they were asking him questions, I remember. And we're just watching it then. He's looking the wrong way. He's wobbling. Mate, they gave him a whole extra minute. I don't even know how they were even allowed to do that. But anyway, like I said, we got to fight another 2 rounds and put on a good show for everyone. So at the time, I'm just like, what are you doing? All right, well, he looks done anyway. Let's just pour it on him. And then for some reason, he was, still looked sharp and still looked strong. So credit to him.
So I will ask you about the aftermath there in a second, but in the moment, the guillotine, could you tell us how close you were to either going out or tapping out? Like, how close were you?
It was close. It was really, really close. It was so obviously I'm going to fight, you know what I mean? But I was at a stage where I was like, even you almost like it was a changing color, not changing color, but I mean, I was like, oh no, I remember even thinking, there was like you watch movies and they talk about, your life flashes before your eyes type thing. So I had like a little moment like that. Honestly, I'm not lying. It was a moment where he was that deep, and I'm like, kept fighting. I'm like, oh no, this is it. I'm not taking the belt back home to my family. I remember thinking of my family in that moment, which is pretty cool. So that shit you see in the movie, you know what I mean? But that's what I was honestly thinking about. I was like, this can't be how I lose my belt. There's no way, you know what I mean? And I just obviously kept fighting, and before you knew it, I just got a little bit of space, and then I was all good. So yeah, man, it was again, most people would have tapped or just completely gave up because there was not much of anything I could. But my mate just eventually gave me that space, and it was all good. But again, man, just resilience and just, you know what I mean, and just never die attitude.
It's crazy. Believe it or not, I was actually thinking about your family as well in that moment, watching it, because I remember you saying, I'm bringing this home. When you did the interview on Monday, the belt was this thing is coming home with me. And I was wondering, I mean, here I am, I'm watching it. I'm not in the moment. I'm like, is there anything going on in this man's head in that moment? Can you even think of anything? And you're actually thinking about your family and not, disappointing them and not being able to bring back the belt, which is just amazing. For those that may not know, like, what do you do in that situation to try to get out of it? Is it just praying that he gets tired? Are you trying to maneuver your neck? What were you doing there? Because it looked like it was tight as hell. It looked like you can't possibly have a tighter guillotine than that.
No, you couldn't get a tighter guillotine than that. But, even the way he positions his legs straight away, for him to wrap up that neck and his leg position straight away, like behind my back, like the way he does that. So it makes it a bit harder for me to control his hips. So I was trying to do that, push his legs a bit further down so I can lift his hips up, give me that little bit of space, which he did a great job of keeping his hips down and staying glued to me that way. But yeah, I was hand fighting with the other hand a little bit to just pull on his arm. You could probably see in a couple of shots where I just made a little bit of space, and then just trying to make the littlest bit of space between my neck and shoulders and things like that, and it was just enough. But again, even me just keeping my legs, just trying to make there was a few things that I had to do. So there's even talking with Craig Jones, there's a leg kick thing that I won't give too much information. He will kill me. But I mean, I was doing little things like that, but I tried absolutely everything. You know what I mean? There was hand fighting. There was me trying to lift his hips up. There was me trying to shake my legs just to get my butt out a little bit further. Then me just, obviously trying to open up my neck and make that little bit of space. So that it was just do whatever you could and survive till he gets us.
What a legend Craig Jones is. To have him in your corner in your locker room before the fight, I know is great. Dan Hooker was telling us that he was kind of going through some things with you before the fight in the locker room, so he wasn't nervous watching you because he knew that you had that knowledge. And then you get out of that, and then moments later, you're in his signature move. You're in the triangle. Are you thinking to yourself, crap, how did I just escaped that? Now I'm in this one? Because then I was like, all right, maybe Alex is too tired at this point. Maybe he's spent. Maybe that's it. What are you thinking in that moment?
Mate, the guillotine was that tight that the triangle felt like nothing. So, you know what I mean? Surviving that guillotine was, I was like, all right, all good. I was in the triangle and I was like, hey, I'm all right now. So let's just, he done well. He grabbed his leg. I was like, I was pretty lazy on my behalf to obviously I was just wanting to rain down some bombs and, I was heat of the moment, crowd going nuts. So I just started swinging. But yeah, he got the triangle. Leg was in the bad position. He even got the leg, and it was deep. There's not much of a better position you can be in that triangle. And again, it's fucking Brian Ortega doing it, so he's known for that. But I mean, it was again just that resilience, and just made sure I was making that little bit of space. And then I felt like I had a bit of space, so then I just started trying to pull my head out and sort of lift him up and things like that. And we got out, but I knew that after them submissions that he was going to be more gas than me. So that's why you see me just get straight on him, you know what I mean? Because I knew that he would have put everything into them submissions like he did. So he was pretty spent. And then some of that ground and pound that I was landing, mate, I said, yeah, he's durable. But I mean, I feel like I even said, if he is as tough as he looks and durable, the ref's going to have to stop it. But I mean, the ref could have definitely stopped it in between the rounds. That I think, but I think that's in the rules. The fight was done. But credit to him. I said some things about him. I said he doesn't have my respect, and you know what I mean. He's just looking for the easy ways out and all this type of stuff. But mate, how can you not show respect, or you know what I mean, towards someone like that? Like after he was done, mate. I even think that he was like, he knew he was done and was waiting for the ref to literally go, all right, that's it, fight over. So I knew that he was in that position. And I'm like, man, that's it. Like, even if the ref does for some reason let him go, he's done. You know what I mean? Like, how's he going to, but then he's still sharp. But it was like he went from not being able to stand up straight to he was back in the fight straight away. I was like, oh, man, I still got to be careful with this bloke. He's like tough as hell, man. Like, you know what I mean? So it was, again, I've got to be calculated. But I thought by that stage, he would have been definitely done. But, hey, again, there's nothing but respect to Brian. He ended up earning my respect, obviously, during the 5 week. Things were said, got heated, which built the fight up anyway, so that was all good. And, I said things that you probably wouldn't usually say, but hey, I loved it, man. Like, I'm telling you, the whole 5 week and the crowd and all that gave me a whole nother energy. I'd never want to fight without a crowd ever again, mate, because I absolutely loved it. You know what I mean? Even then, they were booing me. Mate, I felt so in the moment the whole week. I just believe everything was just on a whole nother level for me. It's hard to explain. I don't know what it is, but mate, it was just an incredible 5 weekend. Mate, I can't wait to get back in there and do it again.
As you know, in fighting, in MMA, corner stopping fights is not really a normal thing. It's more of a thing in boxing. Do you think his corner let him down by not stopping that fight? Because no fighter wants to be, when the ref is saying, do you want to continue? No one wants to be heard on camera saying, I'm out, right? But you could tell when someone wants it and when someone doesn't. And he was spent. And there's no knock on that. He was freaking fighting a beast like you. I felt like someone should have come in there and protected him and said, all right, he has now taken so much damage in those 2 title fights, Holloway and you, that there's going to be repercussions at some point in his life because of this. I felt like someone should have protected him and said, let's live to fight another day. Do you feel like that should have happened?
Oh, man, to be honest, it should have been, you had the doctor and the referee that he already had a whole minute, and then they gave him a whole extra minute while he was, again, as I was saying, answering the questions wrong. I was saying, follow my finger. He would have his finger over here and he's looking the completely opposite way. They're saying, stand here, starts wobbling, walk to me, wobbling. They asked him like 3-4 times, how many fingers am I holding up? You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't have been up to the corner. It should have been right there and be like, all right, well, this is go dragging on. They should have made a 10-second assessment. As soon as he's answering questions wrong, that's it, it's done. They give him a whole minute to eventually answer the question right and be like, oh, okay, he's all right now. You know what I mean? That's literally what happened. You know what I mean? I don't want to have shots at anyone, but I don't know what the goal was there. Even watching back the fight, I still think there's maybe a lot of people are going to change after this one. I still feel like there was a bias, even in the commentary. I don't like having shots, but man, there was just things like that with the ref, what was doing. I think, I felt like everyone could have done a better job anyway.
Interesting. Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
You'll leave it at that? Okay. You feel like people don't want you to win.
I know you want to.
Come on, Alex. Heel Alex. I like this new heel Alex. Spill the tea on everyone. Enough of this crap. I mean, you were talking. Did you not know that he was, a guy who tested positive for PEDs? Because on Thursday at the press conference, I thought I heard you say, like, I just found out about this. Did you not know about that?
I didn't know that.
Really?
Like that's what I was saying. I did. When I found out at the start of the week, because I did find out about it before 5 week, but I found out about it not that long ago.
Oh,
I mean, it was under the radar. But I mean, again, I didn't want to really bring it up. But then the weight cut and the animosity and things like that, because again, like I was like, all right, it was supposedly a while ago. I didn't even know when it was. So again, I don't know. There was barely any information about it, which that's. But I was like, nah, stuff that. Heat of the moment. I'm like, you know what? I'm major against that sort of stuff. That's why I do point it out. And heat of the moment, I bring it up, and then that's why I was lucky. He was like, "Why are you hating him?" He's like, "That shit like that, don't stand with me." So that's why I was bringing it up. But again, hey, like I said, he's always looking for easy ways out, and I was using that to get in his head, all this type of stuff. But he showed me there was plenty of times he could have just laid there and said he's done, but he got back up and then still brought the fight in the last 2 rounds. So credit to him.
I got to say, I love that, Alex, that we saw last week. You were on fire. Like, first of all, you came across like a star. You came across like a champ, but the trash talk was on point. It was all, you're so different than he is, so you can't use the same stuff with everyone. But even bringing up that in the face-to-face, like, you didn't do it on the microphone. You just did in the face-to-face. If you caught it, you caught it. If you didn't, it was a personal moment between you guys. I loved everything about it. I say you keep. I know you were joking in the press conference afterwards. Heel, Alex, entertainment, all this stuff. That's not heel. That's just keeping it real, in my opinion. So I hope you do that. Stop censoring yourself. I think people gravitate towards that.
Man, I had I'm still hungover, so I'm pretty chill right now. Otherwise, I'll be just having to go with everyone right now, you know what I mean? So I've got the hangover. I should have just had a beer. Yeah. Maybe I had a beer and I would have just ripped on everyone. But I had a few too many last night. But all good. But to celebrate a big win.
Who are you mad at? DC? You want me to have a word with DC? Was he biased with his commentary? What's the problem? Man, I'll slap him in his face.
Look, man. Again, while they're watching, but there was just you watch that fight and you look at their stats and all that, and like obviously the rounds weren't really close at all. You know what I mean? But there was just no acknowledgement. Like some of the shit I was pulling off in there was pretty incredible, especially from watching the fight. Some nice stuff, and there's just no acknowledgement. He would like throw a punch or miss, and they're like, "Whoa, what a jab!" I was like, "Man, come on, please don't like me. Why don't you like me? What's going on here?" You know what I mean? But again, doesn't matter. Obviously, just why that's happening. Obviously, why they're watching as well. It's sometimes a bit difficult to see. So I'll let him slide on that one.
Now
I'll let him slide.
You don't strike me as a big shoey guy. Was that one of your first shoeys, Alex? Afterwards?
Oh well, no, I've done plenty of shoeys. Don't worry about
that. In your rugby days, but these days we don't see you do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, probably for a camera. Yeah, that's Bam Singh. But I mean, it's such an Aussie thing, and I haven't been out. You know what I mean? You got the crowd, the energy. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I want to get all the piss, give me the shit. You know what I mean? That's just again, that's like. It is pretty normal back home, but that is a Bam Singh, so that's why I don't usually just do it as a celebrate. I was just doing it backstage, but some of the cameras obviously caught it. But yeah, man, good fun with the boys. So yeah, we've done a few of those.
And I love that they celebrated you. They gave you props at the Raiders game. Now you can admit, as a former rugby guy, NFL football way more entertaining than rugby, right? Now you've seen it in person.
Let me tell you, man. The arenas or the stadiums and the atmosphere was incredible. Mate, like, I love obviously sports are big back home, but I mean, there's just something different about sport here in America. Man, like the full stadium and the roar and the way they got into it, like, mate, it was incredible. Absolutely loved it. But yeah, mate, rugby leagues are definitely my sport. But I mean, NFL, that atmosphere there, man, it was a pretty incredible. It's a great experience. I'll be at plenty more games. Every time I'm in Vegas, I'm going to be watching the Raiders. That's my team now.
All right. I like it. Now, are you surprised, Alex, that they booked Max versus Yair 2 months down the line? Like, I thought it was sort of fait accompli that you would fight Max now. Now you're kind of stuck in this weird spot where the top contender fight is in 2 months, and then they have to get better. And like, it's always better when the top contender fight is sort of at the same time as the championship fight, right? So you can all. It seems like weird timing, no?
Yeah, well, that's man. I had 14 fucking months off.
Yeah,
I mean, I want to fight regularly, and that's so it is a bit shit. But what do you do? That's why I was like, hey, maybe a lightweight while I'm waiting for that because I want to get a few fights, man. You know what I mean? This is prime. In my prime. I don't want to. Only got to fight 3 times in like the last 2 years or something like that, or is it more? I don't even know. But you know what I mean? That's not much for me, and I want to fight more regularly than that. So, but what do you do? So again, hopefully that they're ready. Whoever wins that is ready to have a pretty quick turnaround because I want to fight early next year. You know what I mean? I was even thinking maybe could I squeeze one in this year? You know what I mean? But that's obviously not going to happen by the looks of it. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye. I'll be definitely tuning in. Like I always say, I've got my eye on all the contenders. But that's the number one contender spot right there. And whoever takes that, that's probably exactly who I'll be facing.
Or what if they're going to do Henry Cejudo? Henry Cejudo, Alex Volkanovski. Maybe that's the one. He's not booked. I mean, he's chirping about you again.
Well, he's always chirping. He's chirping about everyone. But, mate, obviously we'll see what they do. But, I mean, that's obviously not going to happen. He's been trying to get
Why do you think it's not going to happen? I feel like there's a chance.
I don't even think Dana White answers his calls or anything. That's why he's got to go and just keep calling people out. I don't know because he's he's been calling out everything, but obviously nothing's ever on paper or anything because I don't think they're taking him serious.
Would you be interested in that?
Would I be interested in it? Well, purely because I want to fight regularly and I don't want to wait so long. If there was ever a chance, it probably would be soon. But yeah,
is your hesitation because you feel like he hasn't earned it because he hasn't fought at 145?
Yeah, exactly. Of course, he doesn't deserve it. Like, you know, I could respect him. He's done great things in his divisions, but this is featherweight, whole different sort of you know, killer fish to what he's, you know, especially him being flyweight. And again, we've got a bunch of killers, and then why should he just step in front of all of them? But, you know, that wouldn't be fair. But yeah, and you know me, I'm all about, hey, that's how it's done. You know what I mean? You got to earn your way to the top. Just like, you know, and that's the way I got to give credit to Max. Like you said, you thought that the fight was going to be with Max,
right?
The next one, you know what I mean? And you know, I was thinking when I seen that fight wasn't announced, because that's why I bring it up. I was thinking, aren't they meant to be fighting? And then everyone was like, oh, not that I know, but oh, maybe it's not them.
Yeah,
maybe it's just Max. So I reckon he could have got that fight, but you know, I think he's just like, no, I'll fight, yeah, and definitely earn that number one contender spot. So mate, like I said, you got to respect the guy for doing things like that, because that's what I'm all about. So good on him.
And by the way, you know, you made it when on fight night, just seconds after your big win, you're getting tweeted about by Conor McGregor in a sort of you know, trash talky, disrespectful way. That to me is a sign that you made it when you're being targeted by him literally seconds after your win, right? I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what his tweet was, but
I believe he
deleted. Did he leave it?
I don't know if he deleted. He called you a not so nice name and, you know, compared you to something.
Well, he called me a little fart or something like that.
He said it was more of a shart, if I'm being honest, if I want to get it accurate.
Oh, shart, was it? Okay. Yeah, but hey, mate, that's Conor. But again, like you said, hey, at least he was tuning in. Everyone was watching, so everyone enjoyed the fight. And again, he's just going to say whatever he wants, obviously getting the headlines. Whenever someone has a bit of shine on them, he usually tries to steal it by saying something. So I guess that's a good thing.
Two last things for you, and then I'll let you go back to watching the fight. The headbutt, how much did that mess you up?
That didn't mess me up too much. So like
you're just unflappable. You are impervious to pain.
Hey, well, I've got a job to do, you know what I mean? So I'll worry about the pain after the fight. But no, it was even that, you know, obviously it was a head clash, but mate, some of the punches that I was landing before that, I had him rocked before that, then we've done the head clash, and then you hear in the commentary, oh man, this is unfortunate, as if he's losing because of a fucking headbutt, when I was clearly telling him up before that. So there was like bits like that where I was just like, come on guys, what are you trying to do? But again, you know, I don't want to sound like a little sook, but listen. Hey, at least we put on a good show for everyone. I'm glad everyone enjoyed it, and fucking still, I said I was taking that belt back home to Australia, and that's exactly what we did.
When you call the family after the fight, like, did your girls watch? Were they watching live, or do you not let them?
No, the girls weren't watching that. They're a bit young for that one.
Okay, I'm assuming your wife watched, right?
Yeah, she watched.
What was her reaction when you call? Because I mean, you were that close to it all coming to an end. What's that call like when you call her in the locker room, I presume?
Yeah, no, so she wasn't too bad, but like she always, even before we left, she goes, "Stop this 5-round bullshit." I was going like, "Stop it! I don't want to be on the edge of my seat, you know, for the 5 rounds." You know what I mean? So she wanted to do, you know, nice and quick, so we don't have to stress through the 25 minutes. And I was like, that's why after the fight, I'm like, tell her, my missus is gonna fucking kill me, because she was actually she loved it. She enjoyed the fight, so she was all good. So again, man, they're in lockdown. She's, you know, like obviously got the kids, like we're doing a homeschooling type stuff and all that, you know. So she's just probably happy to at least do something. I'm fighting, you know what I mean? So something different for us. So she enjoyed the whole thing.
So I actually heard from a lot of fans afterwards who wrote me, and I saw on Twitter and all this stuff, and you gave them a lot of, I mean, it's a tough time in Australia, and there's not a lot to cheer about these days. And that's the beauty of sport, right? To be an escape for people. And on a Sunday afternoon, because that's when it ends in Australia, you represented that. Like it felt like from what the people were telling me, like people were out and trying to watch and trying to just forget about things. And, you know, you represented some good news, some positive news for them. And I'm sure you know that. I'm sure you've gone flooded with texts and messages and comments about what you represented to those people. Like you did a great service for your country. I don't know if you view it that way, but to me, you represent the beauty of sport, especially in these dark days. To give people something to be proud about is a really beautiful thing. So well done.
Well, that's 100%. That's what it was all about. That's why the defender of the belt was so much bigger than just me defending the belt. I said, this one's Australia. This is for you. I really meant that. I said, even during the fight week, I go, I want to, people are stuck home. I want to put a smile on their face. You know what I mean? Because it is. It's tough back home. You know what I mean? It's lockdown's been going on like it seems forever. So I just wanted to, do for them. You know what I mean? Now I'm over here, I'm blessed and lucky enough to be able to do what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So that's why I had to go. I had to drink as well. I can't not be in Vegas and not drink, because everyone back home in Australia will be like, "Oh, wait, you're in Vegas and you're not drinking? You know what I mean?" They wouldn't be happy. They'll be like, "Oh, hey, you take advantage of that because we can't do it back home." So they'll be offended if I didn't have some fun of it.
And so last thing, how close are you to moving the family to the States? This has been a big story with Izzy and talking about city kickboxing. I know it's a little different in New Zealand, but not too different. Is this a real thing that you are going to consider doing for next year?
It is a real thing because, again, it's just traveling is so much harder. Like, this is why even before, the COVID, I was going to fight Ortega, like, look how long it was in between fights anyway. It was purely because of, it's these lockdowns and all that. Like, it's a whole process. It's not easy. It's tough, and that's why, it's hard to even get out of the country and get back in. And, then you got to do 2-week quarantines, all that type of stuff. So it is difficult. So it's definitely something that we're looking into. And, mate, I'm in my prime, you know what I mean? And I need to fight as much as I can, you know what I mean? And we're losing so much of our prime to everything that's going on. But hopefully that's going to change soon. But we're thinking of just, riding out this whole chaos till things are back to normal.
Any state in particular?
I don't know, but I think I'm a Raiders fan now. Vegas is like my second home now.
I love it.
Maybe Vegas.
I love it. Okay. All right. Well, good luck. And you have to do a quarantine when you come back?
Yeah.
2 weeks?
So I leave Wednesday. And 2-week quarantine. So we're still going to do the 2-week quarantine. So every time it's just, what I mean? Even, if I just go just for 1 week, it's never just a week. If I just had to come here to watch a fight or, do two fight, it's going to be at least close to a month. And man, we already had a flight cancel on us because I was meant to leave yesterday originally. But then they're cancelled, and then now Wednesday. So we don't even know, that could be cancelled too. We don't know. So, there's just a lot of flights back home are getting cancelled because they're not letting too many people in. So it's challenging times, that's for sure.
All right. Well, God bless you guys. Congratulations, Alex. Really unbelievable. I'm in awe. Round of the year, fight of the year. If you ask me, I have a feeling we'll be talking about this one in December when we're wrapping up the whole year. I hope you enjoy it. I'm glad to see no serious injuries, right? You're all good other than, the
couple of stitches.
Yeah.
Stitches here, stitches on there, but all good.
It's cool. You look like a football player with the lines under your eyes. So enjoy it, my friend. Right. And thank you so much for doing this on a Monday. While maybe or maybe not hungover, I appreciate the time very much.
No worries at all. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Talk to you soon, Alex. There he is, the champ, the reigning defending UFC featherweight champion, Alex Volkanovski. What a fight. If you haven't